Whenever in a bow stand, frontal bow stand, the front foot should be always straight, not in this position. Always straight on the outside sole, width of the shoulder, never wider than your shoulder. The frontal bow stand. That goes to the fixed push hand as well. Okay, never wider than your shoulder, and the palm should be straight. So when going for the release, it must be straight. You notice that in our system, when you step, here touch, foot arrive, knee in position. Okay, that's why in the releasing, when you step, everything arrive. Not 1, 2. So we don't do this 1, 2. Okay, everything arrive. Okay, I don't release this. To wash my foot on my knee. I don't sink in 1, 2. By the time 1, 2, your partner will go home to sleep. You miss the timing. Everything is 1. So you see, even in the free pushing hand, it goes 1. Okay, not 1, 2. Okay, thanks. In push hands, if you miss 1 second, you miss opportunity. Everything must arrive as 1. 1, everything arrive. That's why in the form, everything in position. And then you release. Everything must be in position first, then you release. That's the time you should look for. Okay, that's why the classes say, when you move and change, every part of your body is moving and changing. When you arrive, every part arrive. If you have the habits in the form, you will show it in the push hands. Okay, that's why my teacher said, the mistake in the push hands, when you see mistake in the push hands, the mistake comes from the form, the way you move in the form. And then you must go back to the form to correct the mistake. That's why it's important to do push hands. Okay? Because if you just do the form, no push hands, the Tai Chi is not a complete art. You need to take part of the art. If you do push hand, you don't do the Tai Chi, then you also not complete art, because the movement, your pushes will not be a Tai Chi pushes, because you don't know how to move in the Tai Chi way. Okay, and push hands will reveal the mistake in the form. You must go back to the form to correct the mistake, always. Okay, in every position, remember what I said the other day, the hip must stay in. All the hip must stay in, seated. Okay, Yan came from. So in position, put the fingers on both my hips. Okay, this is, I call it the hips, some call it the pelvis, but in Chinese we call it the qua. So this is the qua. Qua. Okay, must be seated. Okay, from here, soften, seated and left. I don't hold my hips, I don't hold my hips. If you hold one hips, okay, then your tilt, the hips will be here, not here. Okay, if you hold both hips, then the body is not connected to the base. Hips are seated in positions, in transitions. You don't do this. Okay? Release in the release. You don't push the hips up. Hips stay seated. Soften the hips, stay seated. Stay seated. And any time of the movement in the form, my hip doesn't come up. It stays relaxed, but it also stays seated. And this is relaxed, but not seated. Turn, you stay seated in positions, and in transitions, the hip stays seated. The hip stays seated. Okay, don't come up. Okay, thanks. Especially when you step forward, okay, when you're 1 foot. The only way to keep the hips down is you keep sinking in the ground on the substantial foot. Okay, when your mind goes down, the hip doesn't come up. Because the body follow your mind. Okay. You don't go up, then goes down. When it goes up, when the partner sink, you never have a chance to go down. Because you go down on his coming force, upcoming force. So I always keep the hips seated. Okay, now from the raised arms to the first brush knee. Okay? You stand, stay straight. So you can stand facing the corner and goes up, square to the front. This movement of the arms is from relaxing of the body. Okay, it's not moving from the arms. Okay, so low, can you come here? Put the hands on my thigh. Remember what I say, when the hips is seated, you don't bend down anymore. You need no, because the structures is there. But you must continue to relax the muscle in the structures. Put the hand on my thigh and my body. Yeah, any part. But not any part, of course. just touch lightly, touch lightly. Just slowly touch lightly. Okay, that's enough to feel. Okay. Not just touch it. Okay, I don't move from here. It's the muscles relaxing. Feel that? Muscles relaxing. Okay, thanks. The muscles relaxing cultivate by mind. You use mind to visualize every muscle is letting go. It's important to cultivate the relaxing of muscles in the body, especially the calf and the thigh. It's not an easy place to cultivate to relax, but you need to cultivate relax. Because only when you're able to cultivate to feel the relaxing of the muscles, then the movement will come from within. Okay? If not, if your legs, the body muscles are holding on, in a way, your base body and arm moving in relation to each other, but it's still one whole block. Because inside the base, inside body, is still holding on. You must feel that melting sensations. Okay, when my teacher let me feel, I can feel the movement, but he said, don't force it to happen. Just visualize, imagine it happens. Get the movement will come. Okay, for example, juggling. Put the hand on my thigh. Okay, when I move, okay, is the base move the body move the arms. Okay, when you first learn, okay, you learn to move the base, move the body and arm. When you know the sequence, you need to feel the muscles relax, the legs, the body muscles relax. Feel that? Mm-hmm. Okay, the more body muscles relaxes, not only the upper lower back, the whole body. Okay, the chest and the upper back. So what you need to visualize is that this is your body. Okay? Okay. When the base, the leg and calf muscles are relaxing, you must visualize the front, the back, the side, the whole body muscles are relaxing. In the relaxing, you put the palms around my finger, both palms. Just around, just lightly go around. Okay? This is my body. The chest must relax from the inside. Okay, you don't relax your chest by pushing from the outside, not this way. Relax from the inside. Okay, in, you glide the palms down. The palm gliding down represents the melting sensation of your body. Okay, so as the body melts, the chest relaxes from within. This is what you should feel. Okay, and the arm muscles here, hold my arms here. Just hold enough to feel this way and this way. It's not tensions here. Is relaxing from the inside. You must be relaxed from the inside. Okay, you grab my arms. When I relax, grab my arms, my force goes outside. My force goes out. Okay, so you need to cultivate this relaxation. Only then you can have an internal movement. What's the internal movement? You feel my calf and my thigh and my body. Stay upright. Okay. This is the external movement. This is the internal movement. Okay? When you push into me, you feel. Okay, this is the external movement. This is the internal movement. The adjustment is much more smaller. Okay? So from big to small. Okay, when you work the base, the body, and the arms, okay, you're working in a big circle. Okay? When you work on the relaxing of the muscles to create the movement, from the big circle, you work into the small circle. When you work on your mind, you become one round dot. One round dot, one small circle, one big circle, they have something in common. All of them are 360 degrees, right? But to move 1 degree, the round dot is always faster than the small and the big circle. To move 1 degree, right or wrong? Clear?
What is faster When you move, then one is faster, what do you say?
No, like if I would need to turn 1 degree to the right, the round circle is always faster than the middle and the big circle. No, it's because you only need a very small movement. Okay, then it's there already. Okay, you have a circle around the big circle. As you project the 1 degree off from here, 1 degree off. Okay, in the big circle you see much more bigger movement than 1 degree than the smaller circle. That's why the small circle always change ahead of you. Okay, when you push hand, it's not that if I didn't say anything, it's not that what you do is wrong. What you do is correct. Unless I say no, you don't do it this way. If I didn't say anything, is what you do is correct. The difference is my changes is smaller. I'm always ahead of you in my changes. Okay, that's what it means. You have to internalize the movement to be able to achieve that. Okay, there's a reason why in Tai Chi they say, 用意不用力, use the mind. Everything is you use the mind to cultivate. You don't use the muscular tension to force the thing to happen. You use the mind to visualize, to use the muscle to relax to create a movement. As I said before, there's a different way of creating a movement. Okay, you use tensions to stretch, or you just relax and let the muscle stretch by itself. In Tai Chi, you let the muscle stretch by itself. You can use the tension to bring the movement. Okay, Yin, come here, hold my arm to hold my body. Okay, hold my body. Okay, you hold here. Okay, you use tension to bring up and lift up, or you use the relaxing to bring down. So the same thing here is done here. Okay. You use tension to push, or you relax to push. Which is more effective? Relax is more effective because you don't feel anything. Then you go soft. Tension, you feel there's something coming into you. Okay, if you are strong, you can do something about it. But in the relaxed way, you don't feel anything. By the time you feel really gone. By the time you feel really gone. That's Tai Chi. But before you can do it to the other person, synchronize with the other person, you must be able to feel it yourself and adjust it in yourself first. Okay, then you start to adjust in relation to the other person. That's why the form is the foundation. The form is very important. The problem is when people learn the forms, they learn the movement. I finished the form already, I know Tai Chi. But when you finish learning the form, you only found the path. You're not finished yet, you only discover the path. Then you need correction. Correction is accuracy in position and in transitions. Okay, you must have the accuracy at this moment where your arms should be, at this moment where your arms should be, at this moment where your arms should be. This is the accuracy. You need to have that accuracy structure first in order to feel the inside changes. If your outside movement is not accurate, then your inside you can't feel it. Because you don't have the alignment for things to happen. Okay, you must have the outside accuracy, then to feel the inside changes. Only when you feel the inside changes, then we say that you're in the whole Tai Chi. Okay. But even if you can feel the inside changes, okay, you can understand the changes. But if you don't bring the same thing in the push hand, then you're not doing the same thing in the push hand. How can your push hand develop your Tai Chi push hands when it's moving different from the form? Okay, that's why it's important to remember how you move in the forms. When you go into push hands, you must tell yourself to move exactly like the form until you become happy. You don't have to tell yourself, the habit is there. Okay. That's why my teacher always stressed, when you learn, you must ask yourself. When you ask yourself, you correct yourself. When you practice, you must ask yourself. When you ask yourself, you're correcting yourself. When you learn, if not sure, you must ask the teacher. Okay, but if you ask the teacher tells you what to do. When you practice, you don't ask yourself. You don't remind yourself what you should do. Then you go back to the old habit again. Okay, that's the reason why sometimes you see a students, you correct them for 5, 6 years, they still have the same mistake. Yeah, they listen to you, but when they practice, they don't check themselves. the old habit keep coming back. If you check yourself, you remind yourself to move the right way, then the body get the message, then mistake is corrected. That's why you need, when you learn, when you practice, you must ask yourself. When you learn, you're not sure, you must ask the teacher. When you practice, you must ask yourself. Okay, but okay, when you release the force, do not go forward. So when you do the form, ask yourself, as you release, am I pushing myself forward? That's the only way to correct yourself. Okay, that's why I said in the Tai Chi Classic, to enter the door of Tai Chi, you need oral transmission. You need a teacher to tell you the method. Okay? To get the art, to get the skill, it comes from your own practice. The teacher can give the skill. Your own practice is, you must practice the correct way. You must always constantly check and analyze your practice. That will stop you from moving off course. You know, just like if I walk the path, I walk this, the teacher said this, so you walk. After you forget, you take a misstep, you go out, you do it again, that's why you need to bring back, then it goes forward again. Okay? Different level, you learn different things, you experience different things. That's why when you teach, it's not that you teach the same thing to every student. You can say the same thing, but you must explain the thing in a way, in the level that the student can understand when they are in the level. Okay. Teach according to people. And if you are a teacher, always remember, you teach what the student needs, you don't teach what they want. It's two different things. Okay? So it works again from the raised arms. The slow push. The same feelings you feel in the form. You sink in the positions and you release. Okay, can you put it on your shoulder first? When you sink in the position in the form, you drop your shoulders and elbows. When you release, the shoulders sink. Okay, put the hand back leg. Like the form, when you go into position, you must have this release. So you move in, you must have this release. Okay, but this hip must not come out, this hip must not come out. You are releasing the force. Okay, you come this side, sandwich my body. Okay, and the body must not lean forward. Okay, so once in the form, go into position. When you release, the body stays there, the arm is standing on sinking of shoulder. You don't push yourself forward. And in the release, put the hands on back here. The whole structure is relaxed. Okay. The relaxation create a space for the shoulders to sink. Put the hands on both my shoulder blade, Okay. Don't push, just touch. Okay. When you release, you're not pushing out this way. If I push out this way, those things will feel my shoulder blade pushing against the palm. No, the shoulder blade is relaxing down.
So it's sort of
completely relaxing down. Okay. Come along. When you sink forward, you sink the both feet. The sinking in both feet is not just going down. Like number 5 exercise, like the form, you have under and forward. So the force comes with the person, when you release, you pick them up from the base. And in the form, when you release, you don't tense out the arms, so there's not an increase of tension in your palms. Okay. So sit back, release from the base. Okay, just practice the slow, easy.